Oh, here you go. See, this one is better drawn. I'm from San Jose, which is right there, from that little part of the divot. And this is the Bay Area. And then I travel all the way over to there.
Hi guys.
Bye.
Gabby, let me know if you still want to do Flying Tiger later. 100%. I'll come back with Sean. All right, I'm excited.
I'm
you
excited. Yeah.
You got all the batteries and everything.
I got extra batteries. You're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
So, this is my last semester at Emerson Boston, but I'm spending my last semester of college as a second semester senior at Emerson LA. And I don't know, it's weird. It's scary because there's a lot of uncertainty right now, you know, that process of going there alone, being the first one in a way, you know? It's like when you're in a haunted house and everyone's like, okay, one person at a time. I've been so used to here in Boston that now I have to uproot myself. You know, this is uproot in ASL, and I very much feel that way right now. You can really do duck watching here. I really like mallard ducks because where I grew up, in the city I grew up in, it's called Sunnyvale. Well, I lived in the bird section, and the street that I grew up on was called Mallard Street. And it was so cool because we had a pool, and every morning we'd wake up and there would just be so many mallard ducks, and I enjoyed living there. Like, I have so many good memories of that home, and so I've always wanted to get a mallard duck tattoo to my collection because I think they just have a lot of good meaning for me and a lot of happiness tied to them, so I enjoy watching them. There's a statue for a Polish general who was very instrumental in the Revolutionary War. The country of Poland has always been on and off the map. Having that sort of area, that land to call one's own is very important. And so with that idea in mind, Kościuszko was very much instrumental in fighting different wars in Poland. This is like a tangible piece of history of my country that I can actually celebrate. I appreciate having someone's last name who is just as difficult to pronounce as my last name. C is not pronounced K, but it's pronounced Ch. And since it has an I, it actually softens the C sound. So instead of being it T, it makes it Ch. So you got Kościuszko. We're in Copley Square, and we're heading to the Boston Public Library. And this place is huge, it's big. It actually has the second biggest collection of books after the US Library of Congress. It has more books than NYPL. You just feel like you're a part of something when you're in here. And you can go to all these different places. And the fact that you can do work here and do art tours and borrow books, like all of this is happening in one place. I think one of the biggest takeaways is that living in a city, you learn how to put yourself out there. You're going to be in uncomfortable situations in public. You're going to have to, you know, I was always a very closed off, sort of homey person. But living in a city, and living in Boston specifically, you know, you're all up in everybody's grill at some point in time when you're on the red line and it's 5 o'clock and nobody wants to make space for you. And learning to be okay with that and learning to be okay with being a stranger in public is a big thing that I think not a lot of people coming from small little spaces, and you know I'm not from a small little town or anything, I'm truly a stranger in this city. And I've learned to be okay with that, and I think that's going to help me on later in life because I might not be living in California all the time, or I might not be living in a place where I know a lot of people, and so being able to take those same skills of like, okay, I have to make friends, I have to make work connections, I have to do that. I'm glad I learned that early on rather than later. We're in a Polish deli that I love to come to when I'm here in Boston because it's a little slice of home. I grew up around these products. I grew up around all of this. You know, my mom buys these same things back in California, but like this is a specific Polish deli in like Southie, which is where Polish people tend to be, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that so much because it's my home and I can speak Polish here and talk and I hear my language, and I think that's something that's so special that I don't get to have in California. They only have one. This is actually literally like what I used to drink as a kid. It's called kubush, and it's like this drink, and it's kind of like a V8 but more kid friendly. Anything here I want to get? No. So I know I want some stuff over there for us. I kind of want to get this peach jam.
So why don't you talk to me?
About my haul?
What's the haul, Gabby?
The haul. Okay, so I got myself a sandwich because I thought that would be good. But I also got two, what we call, they're Polish donuts. And they're called, oh my gosh, how did I already forget it? But we got two Polish donuts. We got a Polish Danish. And then we also got some, they're called like corn-based, like, I don't know how you would describe it. Chips in a way?
Is this like a chip, but it's a...
I'm nervous.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Some pretzel sticks, which are classic Polish food.
What did you say?
Yeah, Polish favorite.
Pretzel.
You put these.
Pretzels taste like the most flavorful thing on the planet compared to the styrofoam of this bed.
We got some pierogi and then we got some principolo. But I'm excited to try these with you and for you to have a taste of what it tastes like. So over there we have Cafe Polonia. We're still here in Southie, but whenever my parents are here to visit me, we always make a trip out to the restaurant because it just serves good Polish food, you know, like it's made by your mom. But what I find really funny is that the only Guy Fieri came in and gave its stamp of approval in, diners, drive-ins, and dines. And
No, dives, I think. Like
dives. Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
But stamp of approval for Cafe Polonia. So, yeah. Boston was like the only other place that I've ever lived. And in its own way, it is a second home. It really, really is, because I consider this place to be where my heart is right now. And I do believe in that cheesy saying of home is where the heart is. I think I definitely found my home here.